All right, here we are yet again for another video edition of our investor newsletter. Today is August 23rd. Can you believe that the summer of 2022 is almost behind us? I don't know about you all, but this year has been like a blur for us in my family. Our firstborn, she's almost 2 years old. We were potty training her. We just gave birth to our second kid, a beautiful and incredibly healthy little boy named Alex. He just turned 5 weeks old. And so there's just been a lot of action going on here. Personally, with my family, I hope that everybody has had a phenomenal summer and is geared up and ready to rock and roll, get into fall, close out this year on a strong note. Here we are, before you know it, we're going to be jumping right into Q4, and that means, of course, that the holidays and 2023 are literally right around the corner. So with that being said, today's newsletter, what I wanted to really talk about, we've shared now multiple times over the past couple of weeks, really like the past 2 months or so, that we are going to be looking to provide a wider range of investment opportunities for you, our phenomenal team of investors. So we, for the last 8+ years, I have been a full-time real estate investor. Starting out doing single-family fix and flips. I did single-family fix and flips for 3.5 years. I gradually transitioned that business to wholesaling, which is essentially flipping paper or flipping contracts. We would do a lot of negotiation direct with sellers, put the property under contract, turn around and sell the contract to an end buyer. Think of it as like oil futures, right? Selling the contract before you have to take delivery of those barrels of oil, right? So we did that for 4.5 years. Those kinds of real estate investments were extremely transactional, right? And while you can make good money in single family fix and flips and in wholesaling, it's still a transactional thing, right? It still wound up feeling a lot like a job. And what I have always been after in terms of my activity within real estate has been to figure out the best way to create financial freedom and hopefully, I think I found it, generational wealth. And so that led me into, it was that desire that led me into fix and flip, and then to go from fix and flip to wholesaling. And I was doing those things as a way of accumulating cash so that I could go out and buy rental real estate, okay? Income producing real estate. And I successfully did that. I built up a small portfolio of just about 18 doors, not just about, it was 18 doors. And that experience taught me that playing small with rental real estate or with cash flowing assets for that matter is simply not the way to do it. There was way more time and effort that I spent managing those 18 doors. And at the end of the year, there was way less money in the bank account than I was anticipating. And so that's what led me to multifamily syndication, to the medium and to the large apartment sector. And I absolutely love multifamily. You guys know that I love multifamily. I talk about multifamily all the time. If you stumble on my social media, it's like my family, me exercising, or multifamily. Like literally, right? That is it. I absolutely love multifamily real estate. Now, the reason that I love multifamily real estate is because it serves a basic human need, okay? Shelter. People are always going to need it. There's a massive supply and demand imbalance right now. There's simply not enough supply to go around. We're actually several million units short. We need to produce as a country several million units by 2035. It winds up being 400,000. I forget the exact number. I read the article a couple days ago. But needless to say, we have to produce a lot of new units over the next several years, every year leading up to 2035 in order to be able to meet demand. So there's this tremendous supply and demand imbalance. And anytime you have more demand than you have for supply, or more demand than you have for the supply of something, inevitably the prices go up. Okay, so I love multifamily real estate for a couple reasons. The supply and demand, the basic human need, it's a phenomenal investment. It produces monthly cash flow. It appreciates over time. It produces some really great tax benefits. Okay, now listen, here's the reality. And I've been learning this slowly over time myself. There's other opportunities out there. There's other investments that check a lot of those same boxes, right? This all boils down to a risk reward question, right? What is the risk adjusted return? And so we here at the Investor Boardroom, we still love multifamily real estate. We're going to continue doing multifamily real estate deals, right? We just teamed up with another more experienced operator and did a 200 plus unit deal in Nashville. That closed 2 or 3 weeks ago. It's actually the largest deal that we've ever been involved in. We were super excited to be a part of that deal. Number one, it's a market that we don't actively target. So by teaming up with this other operator, it gave our investors, you guys, an opportunity to invest in a market that you don't normally get exposed to just directly through deals that we quarterback ourselves. We're going to continue to do this. We're going to continue to network and look to team up with experienced operators that have strong deals available. Just last week, I spoke to 3 different operators about deals that they're actively raising for today. We're not getting involved in any of those deals right now, okay? So we are being extremely selective when we are vetting these kinds of opportunities, because I'm not pulling the strings, right? So I have to have a ton of faith in the market, the deal, and the operator in order to agree to bring our team to potentially invest in the deal myself, to bring our investors along, and to partner up. Okay, so we're going to be doing extreme due diligence on these opportunities, but they're going to come. So you're going to see opportunities continue to come from us, where we are the lead sponsor. We're actually in highest invest right now in a deal in Orlando, Florida. I can't share any more details than that because some of you that get this newsletter are not yet deal ready. You have to be deal ready in order to hear all the cool details and the returns and all that fun stuff with any of our opportunities, because we do allow non-accredited investors into our deals. So what that means is that we're limited with what we can say publicly. Okay, we have to have a relationship with somebody before we can actually present you the details on any investment opportunities. But we are in highest invest for one right now. We're continuing to talk to and to vet other operators who we may bring some additional opportunities to you, our investors, through them. You've also seen now at least 3 different investment opportunities that were more of the single family rental property nature. These are going to be different investment opportunities. They're not going to be equity, several year plays the way that the multifamily syndication opportunities are. These opportunities are going to be more, they're going to be secured by the real estate. Okay, so it's going to be a debt investment rather than a equity investment. And that means there's going to be a set interest rate, and we're going to be in and out of those deals typically in 2 years or less. So we're going to have some more of those kinds of opportunities coming. So keep your eyes peeled for that. And then a couple other things just to mention here really quickly. There are some other sectors, some other niches within real estate, and really just within the umbrella of alternative assets that I absolutely love and that we are going to be bringing to you all in due time. Some may come sooner, some may come a little bit later, but I'm just looking to pull the curtain back for you all a little bit just to show you and to kind of share with you what all we're working on here. So I absolutely love the senior housing assisted living niche. I've been interested in this niche for the last at least 3 years. When you talk about the supply and demand imbalance that just general multifamily is experiencing right now, you look at the senior housing space, the senior housing space is even worse off. Okay, there is nowhere near enough supply to be able to take care of all of the seniors that require that sort of senior housing assisted living today. But we're also in the midst of what is known as the silver tsunami. Okay, and some of you are actually part of the silver tsunami. So the reality is here that the baby boomer generation is starting to retire. It's the biggest generation our country has seen. For the next 30 plus years, we're going to see the largest generation this country has ever seen reach retirement age, and they're going to require assisted living, senior housing type properties. So there's a lot of rules and there's a lot of regulations with managing those properties. There are actually 3 different kinds of care. So there's 3 different tiers of senior housing properties that somebody could invest in. Our goal is not to become an expert at these different property types at this niche overnight. So we're going to take that same approach that we're looking to employ, that we've already successfully employed, of teaming up with other successful operators, and we're going to use that as a means of getting involved in and investing in these senior housing properties. And so when we do that, that will open up a door for each and every single one of you, of our investors, to be able to get involved and to get in and to invest in some senior housing opportunities. Now, along this same lane with the way that we're approaching senior housing, we're also seriously exploring 2 other sectors, niches right now. Okay, that is self-storage. Okay, self-storage is huge. Self-storage has been one of the darlings of commercial real estate here over the past couple of years, except it hasn't experienced the same extreme cap rate compressions that multifamily has experienced. Self-storage is gaining in popularity. Everything is getting more expensive. What does that mean? It means people can afford less house, right? So if you can afford less house, or you can't afford a house at all and you wind up in an apartment because you can't afford to buy a home, you're probably not just going to get rid of all of your stuff. And so that's why you're seeing more and more of these self-storage facilities coming out, because there is still a need for this. Okay, there's still demand for these types of opportunities. So we're looking at partnering up with some different folks on self-storage opportunities. And then last but not least, and this is the one that I am the most excited about, we're going to have a little bit more figuring out here because it doesn't fall right within that, real estate niche or that sector, is small businesses. And so we're going to be looking to team up with some people who are buying and taking over and growing small businesses. And again, this is a fantastic play simply because of where we are in history. So there's a ton of those baby boomers that I just mentioned that are going to be looking for that senior housing, that assisted living, right? That help. Some of those people, a fair share of those people, own businesses, and they are looking to liquidate those businesses as they transition into retirement. And what does that mean? It means there is a massive opportunity out there for people who are looking in the right place to pick up already established. These wind up being extremely low risk if they are generating enough income, right? So we have the ability to pick up and to partner up on some really attractive business buying opportunities where we're coming in and we're able to get some equity long term in that business. So these are just some of the things that we're working on here. Again, our goal with the Investor Boardroom is ultimately to help you, our investor, get one step closer to financial freedom. whether that is through a syndication opportunity or whether that is through a opportunity to invest in a single family rental, or that's through investing in a senior housing. It doesn't matter to me. What matters to me is that we are providing a good menu, I guess you could say, right? Good diversification opportunities to our investors, and that we are providing several different avenues for our investors to be able to further diversify their funds, spread out their risk, have good, positive, strong, risk-adjusted returns. And then when and if something goes south or one sector gets hurt, the other sectors are still humming along and their portfolio is super healthy as a result of that increased diversification. So that'll do it here for this week's newsletter. If you have any questions, some of you may be, this is probably new for a lot of you. A lot of you are really kind of just getting warmed up probably to this multifamily syndication investment idea. So listen, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. We are here to help you build that nest egg, to help you get one step closer to financial freedom. So if you ever have any questions, why we're pursuing certain things, hey, you have this and you're exposed over here, and what could be a good way to offset that exposure with something different, please give us a shout. I love talking about investing, and I love helping people out making sense of their portfolio and their investment. This is something that a lot of people really struggle with. So that being said, we greatly appreciate you all, your continued support. Thank you so much for every single one of you that have come and invested in one of our deals. We're going to have more coming, so stay tuned, and we hope to hear from you soon. Have a good rest of the summer.